We've moved to the last question, unfortunately. I think we could probably talk all day. And this is a question that we ask all our guests on the Digital HR Leaders Show. Where do you see HR's role in 2025?
In the corner over there. No. So, again, it comes back to the point about ambiguity and disruption. I just don't think you can predict where it will be. However, I think there are going to be some themes. So I was working recently out on the West Coast with an HR function that was really focusing on being business HR. And some people in the room are saying, but Nick, you don't understand, there's all this administrative work, it takes up all my time. I don't have the time to do this stuff you're talking about. And luckily I'd worked with the HR director, so I'd got the permission. And basically I said, well, in which case in a few years' time you're out of a job. Because that's my view is, what you're seeing with technology now, and I still don't think we're there yet, but it's starting to do what it says it can do on the tin. I still think there's a massive gap between the promise and reality, but it's only going to get better, which means that all of those things, I think they're just going to disappear from HR. I remember years ago when I was researching the sort of the 3-box model, and I was chatting to Unilever, and it was fascinating. The person they put in charge of shared services wasn't from an HR background. They were from a shared services background. So they were brilliant at process mapping, they were brilliant at process management, they're outstanding at outsourced JV, relationship management, etc., because they recognized that was the skill set. And I think that's what's going to happen. So I think that bit of HR is going to disappear. And if you want to stay in that world, you better be good at managing the technology or you're out of a job. I think in the other direction, there is what I would call OD, organizational development, which I believe is not separate. I think that the core of good HR is organizational development. How do we build and develop the capability of an organization, which includes organizational design, includes our processes, our systems, our culture, as well as the individuals in it? Because HR is not just the people function, it's the people and organizational function. And I could see that not necessarily sitting and being called HR. I could see that sitting in the CEO's office, in strategy, in finance, wherever. And this is the problem. I think too many people in HR are scared of that.
Yeah.
Whereas to me, and by the way, I am proud to work in HR. I think it's the most fascinating, most influential function of all when it's done properly. But what I care about is the impact HR can have, not whether HR survives or what it's going to be.
In this series, we will be speaking to a range of senior leaders who are pushing a data-driven and digital HR agenda. Make sure that you subscribe via your podcast app of choice and also via our YouTube channel for free and regular interviews with the digital HR leaders of the future.